So like there's like a misbelief that if you're staying right next to your carry, you're not doing this in support. But believe me, sometimes that is a better answer. Um, let's say at this point, this was like minute before once so he body blocked it, right? And then you have
Yeah.
about 300 gold, right? And then you're now trying to get the brown boots. And I know that it's like a basic logic that if you're support, we just have to get the brown boots ASAP. But again, my logic when I'm playing Lich is I do everything in my power to dominate the lane, right? Like I just have to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thing is you want to spam this skill, right? Like you want to
Yeah.
have the skill. And here's a small thing about push on 5. It's really subtle. You can't really see what you're doing wrong, especially when you're doing push on 5. When you decided to go
Yeah.
here, at minute 1:05 to single pull, I actually think this is the wrong choice just for this game. I don't think you should pull. The reason is,
Yeah. Okay. So the reason is Profit is not bullying my Sven. So I think Sven is free farming. If Profit is bullying my Sven, then I'll contest Profit.
yep, I think yeah, that can be right. But another big reason that I could just say right there is if you pull, right? Let's say this camp is not blocked. If you pull it in
Yeah.
115 and Tiny allowed you to do it, what they're gonna do is they're gonna single pull, they're gonna side pull as well, right? They will pull it, and we don't even know whether this camp is blocked or not. You don't even check it. It's minute 1.
I can,
Yeah, they're
if,
gonna pull too, right? If you
I can stop
pull,
I can stop them from pulling large. I can hit the large and then hit this one. I
well,
think
if you were to pull this one, it's
yeah.
you have to attack this at minute 1 like 15 and go up here, right? And then
Well, I'll attack at around 17
yeah, but
because
then
the
they
lane is
all
not
they
pushing.
also attack this at 117, so it's not possible for you to pull this and contest this at the same time. It's not possible, right?
Wait, I can hit the bottom one at 10 and hit the right one at 17.
Oh yeah, that's right. That would work. But again, just like Tiny will let you do that, right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because Tiny stopping.
Yeah, Tiny will definitely contest you. If you are like wandering around here, I mean, at 110, again, you have the right idea, and I think that's really brilliant. Okay, that's
Yeah,
something that I want to compliment you about support. You really have a good idea. You want to attack this 110 so they cannot pull and then go here. But that's given that the enemy is so bad and they allow you to do whatever you want to do, right? I'm 100%
yeah,
sure Tiny will contest you if you are playing at the higher MMR bracket. I don't know your main MMR, right?
yeah,
But they will contest you if you're
yeah.
ever playing versus against the better players. So it's just not ideally speaking.
It's not possible.
Yeah, from my experience, that's never happening in my game. Okay, I cannot
Yeah,
contest this and then pull this at the same time. They will never let me do that. Okay, but if you can do it
yeah.
in this game and that's what you want to do, oh, do it, right? Do it both. But I'm at least speaking, it's not happening. So
So
that's
what do you
why
think I should do is to contest Profit this
I
time?
think you really should just be here like a newbie, but sometimes that is a right choice. So like there's like a misbelief that if you're staying right next to your carry, you're not doing this in support. But believe me, sometimes that is a better answer. The reason is if you are staying just tied to Sven, you can actually do lots of things. You will try to help him deny, right? You don't want to lose it, right? But you're gonna
Yeah,
try to mess with MP by just denying it, right? That affects the game. And the entire time you're staying, you're casting force blast to MP. Every time it's off
yeah.
cooldown, you just spam, spam, spam. It's 7 seconds cooldown, right? You gotta do that.
So what if Tiny just pulled a large?
Hmm?
Because what if Tiny just pulled a large when I'm contesting Profit?
Well, if you are here, you're in a position where you can actually stop that,
Okay.
right? So you're actually near them. If you're like pushing near here, then you can actually stop their pull. Like considering your position, you can do it. But if
I
you're
don't want to be
here,
right because Tiny would toss me to Profit. That's not what I want.
well, if Tiny, so let's say you're staying sitting very tight next to Sven or your Coop Waves, I don't think
Okay.
it's easy for Tiny to just to
Yeah.
toss you. Like it's not like you're gonna be like, okay, Tiny, please toss me, right? It's not like you're gonna isolate yourself, right? You will know. If you are staying alone, then
Um,
Tiny can toss you. But if you're mingling with your own Coop Waves,
okay.
then he can't do that. He just can't,
I
right?
didn't think about it, like sitting next to my Smith, but that's something very new to me. Okay.
So
Yeah.
because you're kind of just going there, having this is like people's FK autopilot move. That's what I call. Everyone has autopilot move. This is your autopilot move. At around that time, I go for the pull because I'm a support. So that's what I'm saying. But trust me, I've been there, right? and I've been wrong many times, and this camp is not even there. So like, okay, what I do, right? And then you're now forced to run this way. So now you're separated from Sven. So it's like Sven versus MP 1 versus 1 situation. Do you think which one is happy? This guy's happy.
Uh,
Of course,
Profit is bad.
MP is
Yeah,
much more happy, like having this situation. He's now getting solo experience, right? He's really happy as an offlaner. So
yeah.
another reason that I think you contesting this was the right idea is if okay, number one, again, like we said, you'd be harassing him, and number two is also because you're getting some experience. Okay, so there are some push on, actually a lot of push on 5 heroes really benefit from getting only level 2. Like if you hit
Cause
level 2, then it's for shield,
I don't
right?
know, like, cause I heard BSJ's video, cause he mentioned like Lich level 2 is not as important as any other heroes, like Earth Spirits. So I don't know, like there's the mindset that Lich level 2 is not important to me,
You
and
said
I think it's very
you said
important to Lich.
you said your level 2 is not important as Lich. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of not important,
Really? That's really interesting. Why? Why do you think that?
because you cannot afford to cast both of the spells because it costs too many mana. So you're basically nuking all through the lane stage.
So buy more mango. Why not buy more mango?
So you don't need to get level 2 because you most time you're nuking, not casting a damage.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? I don't understand. Sorry.
Because most time you are casting your Q,
Yeah.
not your blast, not your shell. So your level 2 is not that important.
No, I disagree with that. I think I have to disagree because sometimes if I just I disagree. I think it's really game changing if you hit level 2. It's like you're. I think that's like it's with the same logic. It's like saying I'm playing Ogre Magi as a push on 5 support and my level 2 is not that important. Like it's
Ogre is a different thing.
well, but Ogre has 2 spells at level 2, right? He has stun and he has slow. Like if you're Lich, we also have 2 spells, Force Blast and for shield.
Okay.
So
So maybe just time I think like it's different from matchup, but kind of level 2 is a thing that I need to consider depends on my carry and on position 5. Okay. So that's what I think at this point. Maybe the autopilot thing that which level 2 is not important. It's not a case.
no, I'm really open to any discussion. If you really think like his level 2 is not as important, so here's my logic. If you hit level 2 as Lich, this applies to any hero that any push on 5 support heroes that you want to dominate the lane. If you want to dominate the lane, like how do I dominate the lane? I dominate the lane by just winning the lane. How do I win? By just spamming the spells that I have, right? If I'm
Yeah.
Lich, I spam Frost Blast at level 1, right? And I deal damage.
Yeah.
If I'm Ogre Magi, it depends on playstyle. If I'm Ogre
Just hit
Magi,
them
I hit him and then I
or
can ignite him, or I can
yeah.
sometimes use my Fire Blast if I can combine
Yeah.
it with my carry, right? So I have to use my spell, right? And in order to
Yeah.
use my spell, I need mana, right? And that is why a lot of Ogre Magi support you'll see in pro games, they just carry like 6 mangoes at the beginning, right? They don't even need tango. Because they're doing that because if you have that many mangoes, you're basically staying in the lane forever with 100% mana. Like if you have 6 mangoes and like you never go out
Yeah.
of mana. You never do, right? That is also another reason why I thought Ring of Basi was kind of a very stupid idea as a Lich, even if like you had your planning. I really disagree with this. Mango is just really better, much better. Emergency mana, yes, and it also gives us a little bit of HP regeneration, which we can highly benefit from. So, uh, if we had the logic where we win the lane by just spamming more skills, right? Then we can arrive to the conclusion where we become stronger by hitting level 2. Because at level 2, I have 2 spells to use. And never underestimate Frost Shield. Like, this is insane,
You don't
right?
spam shell.
I'm not saying like we have to spam it, but then it can result in a
Yeah.
kill, right?
Yeah.
If you keep blasting them with Force
Okay.
Blast, and then Sven can follow that with Stormhammer, and now this guy like saying like
Yeah. We can
50%
we
HP,
can
then
move
that's where
on.
you
I know.
frost
Like
shield him, and then
yeah.
Sven is keep chasing attack. You're attacking him, and he's not also slowed. He's gonna
Yeah.
die. Trust me, he's gonna die,
Yeah.
and that is why a lot of people are loving Lich in our games. Lich does
Mm,
have a huge power spike at level 2. Force Shield is not a harassment tool, but it guarantees a
yeah,
kill.
it's a
And
kill.
that
Yeah.
changes the entire plan of the lane, right? It changes everything. That is why I am arriving myself to the conclusion where level 2 Lich is important. It
Okay.
changes the game. So that is my logic. And if you disagree, I'm free to hear from you. So yeah, I talked a lot, obviously. So yeah, let's hear
Yeah.
from you. Any comments?
Yeah. It's really good. Like the idea is really fresh to me. We can move on. Can we move on?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're not convinced, just feel free to object. Make any objection. I think it's your session,
Yeah.
you know. So if you're convinced, we can move on, right?
Yeah. I'm a stubborn student, so if anything I don't agree with, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.